Welcome to Tackle Fanatics TV, and in this episode of TFTV, you get a chance to check out Korda Touchdown Mono.
The main thing that sets Touchdown aside from any other mono is the stretch. It's half the stretch of subline, which means when the lead touches down, hence the name, you feel so much more, and that's such an integral part of all of our fishing at Team Korda. If we can't feel the lead down, we don't know what we're fishing on, and then you're going to have to wind the rig in and recast it again. So this exaggerates that feeling. It's very, very close to fluorocarbon, which is also very low stretch, but for a mono of this quality, it's going to be the lowest stretch that you can get on the market. So what are the downsides to Touchdown? Well, I would say if you're an inexperienced carp angler, I would stick with subline to begin with, because there's slightly more stretch in it. Then you can make more mistakes when you're playing a fish. It's more forgiving when you're casting, less chance of anything frapping up. So if you're a complete beginner, start with subline. If you've been carp fishing a long time and you're dedicated to feeling that lead hit the bottom, if that's an integral part of your fishing, then it is for you. And if you're fishing at 10 yards out or 120 yards out, there's going to be a breaking strain that will suit your fishing. So I know some of the guys have been fishing Gigantica recently at 110 yards using the 12 pound, which is 035 straight through, no leader, and they're whacking a 4-ounce lead with a heavy rod, and that's going out there no problem at all. And then other people are fishing the 20 pound version in really weedy conditions. You know, it's not going to cast as far, you know, as the 12 pound version because it's so much thicker, but it still casts really well, and the abrasion resistance is also brilliant. So if you use subline before and you want to feel a little bit more, Touchdown is the line. Touchdown comes in two colours. The one I'm using at the moment is this sort of unobtrusive green colour. That suits lakes like this that are really clear. If you look on the underwater cameras on somewhere like this, the water's got a really green tint to it, so this colour fits in perfectly with that. And then the brown is for places that are more tea-coloured, silty lakes. Walthamstow reservoirs is a prime example. Brown lines on there really blend in well. So that's why there's two colours. There's 4 breaking strains as well. The 10 pound is brilliant for long range fishing because there's less stretch in it. Obviously your bite indication is much better at all ranges, but that really comes into its own at long range, and I would couple it with one of the subline tapered leaders, tying a water knot to join the two. That's going to give a very small knot and it's actually going to fly out. For an all-rounder, the 12 pound, which is 035, that's going to do pretty much everything you want it to. The only time I'd step up from that is if it's excessively snaggy or weedy. Personally, I'm fishing those sort of places most of the time. So at the moment, I've got the 15 pound on, which is 040. That's real belt and braces stuff. And if I'm fishing somewhere completely savage, where you're having to drag them away from massive snags, I had to do that recently in Italy, then I put the 20 pound on. It's 043. It breaks at about 28 pound. It is proper tow rope and it is not going to let you down. Loading Touchdown is exactly the same as any of our other monos. You want the spool spinning in a bucket of water. And basically when you're winding, if you stop and just look at the line going through the butt eye, make sure it's coming through perfectly straight. If it's twisted round the butt eye like that, then it means you're putting twist into it, which usually means the spool's fallen over on its side. So turn it back up again and have it spinning like a Catherine wheel, throwing water out of the bucket, and you know it will go on perfect. And that makes a massive difference to how far you can cast. If you put it on wrong, you get loads of problems with it. If you put it on right, it will absolutely sail out there. One other tip with Touchdown, you'll notice with excessive use, playing lots of fish, lots of casting, the line will go curly from the rod tip down to the rig if you let it go slack. So what I do then is just pull a rod length of line off, cut the rig off, retie it, and the line's perfect again. And like any line, keep it out of direct sunlight when you're not using it. Keep wetting it before you cast, just so it flies off the spool, and it will last you absolutely ages. And one other little tip, you can use it for hook links as well. I know a lot of the European anglers now are using the heavier breaking strains for hook links. So if you've wound it onto your reels and you've got some left, the 10 pounds are brilliant zig hook link, and the heavier ones are brilliant for fishing on the bottom. So it's got loads of uses, and it will last as long as any other mono. Lines with a low stretch are actually better for casting up against islands because you get less stretch as you hit the clip, so you don't end up dragging the rig into the island so much. So what I tend to do is cast up towards the island with just the lead on, get it closer and closer and closer, then get it clipped up, put the rig on, whack it out there, and I tend to hit the clip with the rod back and then let it drop forward so the lead drops straight next to the island. So if you're fishing up to islands a lot, Touchdown is well worth a go.
You've been tuned into TFTV. Tackle Fanatics stock a huge range of end tackle from all the leading manufacturers. We're also a premium for Korda stockists and offer their complete range at the best prices around. To view our selection, log on to www.tacklefanatics.co.uk. Remember, Tackle Fanatics also offer finance to make your tackle purchase more affordable. Tight lines and wet nets from everybody at TFTV.